knees up. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Round the chimney.
We're Lauren and Christopher Grant, and we're professional dancers and choreographers.
And today we're going to talk about Step in Time from the movie Mary Poppins.
Marker.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Stepping time. Stepping time. Stepping time.
Mary Poppins premiered August 1964 and was choreographed by Dee Dee Woods and Mark Bro.
Step in Time was composed by the Sherman Brothers and sung by Dick Van Dyke and the other Chimney Sweeps.
And this is like the ultimate playground adventure on the roofs of London in this twilight, beautiful time of the evening. I think that they get to be thrilled and wowed by these chimney sweeps and remember that adults can be playful. So Walt Disney gave them a huge break. This was the first film that Mark and Dee Dee choreographed, which is amazing because it's one of the best dance sequences, in our opinion, of all time.
Dee Dee and Mark were inspired by their mentor, Michael Kidd.
Mark and Dee Dee both assisted and danced for Michael Kidd before. Michael Kidd is known for many things, but some of his most famous is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, Hello Dolly, The Bandwagon.
Michael Kidd would choreograph very athletic, very exciting, acrobatic movement. They were just taking a lot of his style and his energy and infusing it into their sort of choreography style for Mary Poppins. The song originated from an old English folk song called Knees Up, Mother Brown. With this movie, they were trying to capture a certain time period, and this song, Knees Up, Mother Brown, was a part of that time period.
Yeah, the song is noted back to at least 1918, but it was published in 1938.
Then the party really gets hot, and it's Knees Up, Mother Brown, the old Cockney classic.
It became particularly famous around World War II times in Cockney pubs in England. Partners would like hook elbows. The Sherman Brothers, the composers of the film, they were like, there's something to this, and they explored it. They got 8 to 16 bars, I think, to Mark and Dee Dee before they were like, can you do something with this? And Mark and Dee Dee were like, absolutely. They took it and sort of ran with it.
Call and response is when someone communicates through movement or verbally a move and then the other person follows. Simple as that.
It's either verbal or it can even be choreographically. One person will show the move and then he's responding to the move. So if it was like, I'm trying to think of what they say in the song.
Flap like a birdie.
Flap like a birdie. And then everyone goes, flap like a birdie.
Stepping time.
Flap like a birdie.
Stepping time, stepping time, stepping time, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. And stepping time, stepping time.
Jump first, plie, arms on. Stretch and walk. 2, 3, 4, walk back. 6, 7, and 8, and pump. 2, 3, 4, right, left, over, over, and right, left, pivot, turn, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. Pivot, turn, right, left, right, kick, 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 chug, 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 chug. It's a cardio scene.
Yeah.
Stepping time, stepping time, stepping time, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. And stepping time, stepping time. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Kick your knees up, stepping time.
Dee Dee Woods and Mark Bro, first of all, were married, which we, of course, are really into since we're a married choreographing couple. Their work together was super athletic. It was filled with energy and infused a lot of styles of dance. It infused ballet, jazz, some vaudeville aspects. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7.
7.
Yeah.
But you just pop, I stand.
I pop and you move me to that side. Yep.
Oh shit, that's hard. Oh.
Whoop. Ooh.
I have to watch it again.
Can we watch it one more time?
Yeah. 4, 5,
7, 8. Okay.
first come in with a little walk, little Charlie Chaplin walk. And then we pause, kick, grab, inside turn on the left to land. There's a cut here, because it's like almost impossible to go into the next thing in the same cue. Oh! It's so hard.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, praise be.
Okay.
Jump over the broom, turn, catch, jump over, stop it, twirl it, catch, right into your double pirouette, land, jump over, into a chug, off. But it's so fast.
It's so fast, yeah. This one is going to be interesting
This is a
together.
lot. Just pray to God we shouldn't do this
So,
once or twice.
You guys ready?
Yes. Shit.
oh my gosh. Sorry, Lauren. It's not even the jump. It's getting it back in my hand.
It's hard.
We got to do this right.
We gotta do it right.
Yeah, it's the only way.
We gotta do Mark and Dee Dee right.
Yep.
The whole choreography that we see in Step in Time, the theme is this like super high knee. So it's like we have these big high kicking attitudes with the knees up high. We have these big toe touches, knees up high. There's just this theme of the knees.
As choreographers, you take one thing that's like really simple, the basic sort of knees up, and it's our responsibility to take this specific thing and elaborate on it to its fullest.
Yeah, we always talk about it when we're choreographing, like how do you exhaust an idea? And I think they fully exhausted this idea of this knees up and the use of space. They exhausted everything, the prop work, how they use the broom, the theme of the knees up, the theme of the turned out plied legs. They exhausted, which was, and physically, those dancers
We're exhausted.
were exhausted.
Kick left, right, pull it up, turn, cross the legs in front, a little swivel, separate the legs, turn, leg back, leg front, leg back, shift forward, tap down, kick forward, forward, jump over it, punch forward, and then stand upright. Having different levels in dance is sort of dance 101. You don't want to stay in the same plane. You want to continue to explore different areas. In Step in Time, they did that. You know, you have these chimney sweepers that are on the rooftop, and it's one thing to have them dancing together and doing this sort of call and response, but the placement is on a rooftop.
I think it's so clear in this scene just how much they strived for more and better, and what else can we do, and how can we make it more dangerous and more athletic, and yeah, they're a pretty brilliant team. The set certainly aids the choreography. It just makes it that much more expansive and free, and they're running everywhere. They have so many different levels, so there's just like height differences. We have people in the foreground, in the background.
It totally makes sense to explore and exhaust all the space on a rooftop.
Yeah, that sort of physical comedy
Yeah.
and athleticism certainly existed, but I think this literal parkour from diving from roof to roof,
I don't think that was a thing married with choreography. The idea of parkour existed at the time, but Mary Poppins, Step in Time, up the ante. The risk-taking was definitely taken to another level. As a choreographer, you have these ideas of what you want to happen, and for us, we try to make the impossible happen, but then there are certain things that are just, you know, physically impossible, and that's when you bring in the harness, and that's when you bring in all the sort of like special effects to help and aid.
For instance, the tour section, that sort of jump section that Mary Poppins does. A tour is a jump in the air and you land. It's like a ballet move. That wasn't a great tour, but that was a tour. And you could do doubles. It's usually done by men, male ballet dancers.
Can you guys do two?
Oh no, not me. Chris probably could.
I could probably do two. I don't know
could
if
do
I
a
might fall
sensible.
over. I'll go for it. Here we go.
1, 2. He did it. She shows the first tour, she shows the chimney sweeps and lands it and looks to them. And they're like, okay, we could do it. And then she's gonna go for a double, which is humanly possible, of course. And then the guys do it. And then it's like, how do we take it even further? Oh, we need to make it ridiculous. So storytelling-wise, the creative team came together and was like, now it has to be like over the top, impossible, because she's Mary Poppins. She makes the impossible possible. So I think making her do, I don't know how many tours they like filmed her doing, but she does a ridiculous amount and then lands it. And of course it's like, are you gonna do that, boys? No, they're not. Dee Dee and Mark knew about what it's like to choreograph for celebrities and people that might not be trained dancers. And for example, Dick Van Dyke never danced before. Meanwhile, he's killing it in this scene. He looks incredible. He's so athletic.
And that's a really good sign of a great choreographer, because oftentimes you don't have the luxury of having a principal actor that can move really well or has dance background. So as a really good choreographer can take anyone's movement and then expand on it and expand on things that they do well. For Dick Van Dyke, he grew up miming without dance training. He has great movement training, and when he moves into the choreography, he's able to get those steps. That was something that was a part of his movement quality.
I think he's just such a playful person that he's not afraid to look foolish. So I think as choreographers, that's like, you just pray and hope for that, because when you have someone super timid and afraid, it's hard to pull it out of them. I do not think that was the case with Dick Van Dyke. So Mary Poppins, we know, is this very prim and proper woman, orderly, always clean and put together. And this is such a fun scene because we get to let her get a little dirty and loosen up a little bit. But she certainly still keeps her like prim and proper way, especially after her dance. She does like a little hand signal and then like sits and like properly does her hair and like fixes her hat. Even her physicality, she was always, we have this like turned out first position that she shows us even flying in when she first enters. She always has this turned out first position feet. And that's also in the dance. It's choreographed. The chimney sweeps have it as well. It's sort of a theme throughout. Julie Andrews' character, Mary Poppins, and Dick Van Dyke's Bert, I think they were certainly choreographing around their characters. Now with the rest of the dancers, they just needed people that could really go full out acrobatics, can do technical things like pirouettes and high kicks and toe touches. I know that Dee Dee and Mark really wanted some sort of dance training with the dancers that they hired, but also a certain kind of athleticism. Somersaults, cartwheels, could you do a back handspring? It wasn't about perfect technique necessarily, although they wanted you to have technique, but it was that kind of like gusto athleticism that they needed to see to be able to make this scene happen.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about these chimney sweepers is that, you know, this choreography is completely set by Mark and Dee Dee, but there is space for them to be themselves and show the character. So the choreography isn't completely clean.
The big sweeping moments of big running up the rooftops and then down, they're just running. It's really quite simple when it comes to choreography, but the fact that they're like racing up the roofs and then racing down, it's just so visually stimulating.
Or they jump from roof to roof, they climb on the chimney, they dance with each other, they dance with the props. You know, as a choreographer, when I'm watching a piece, I always think to myself, wow, what else would I do? Or like, what else do I want them to do? And in this particular scene, they do everything that I want them to do.
Stepping time! Stepping time, stepping time, stepping time, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. It's stepping time, it's stepping time. Kick your knees up, stepping time. Kick your knees up, stepping time.